Kent's research probably consists of reviewing his slides, googling creationist websites and practicing his insults in the mirror. I love the comment section under Kent's videos, and talking about Kent's videos, I can't help but notice that he almost always replies to bigger YouTubers like SCIMANDAN and Professor Dave, and he rarely replies to my videos, and I for one hate people who use bigger creators to try and get more eyes on their channels.
You be doing that too.
It's cheap and it stinks of desperation. Please subscribe.
The winner tonight of the Whack an Atheist game is...
Please be me, please be me.
SCIMANDAN.
Oh well, before we start, today's video is sponsored by Manscaped.
Oh, I'm so excited! What are you so happy about? He's talking about Manscaped, which means we are gonna be in a video! I seriously doubt he's gonna put us on YouTube. Yeah, I bet he does! No, he won't.
Well, hello there. Are you someone who values quality and convenience in your bathroom products? If so, then you need to check out the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0, the all-in-one men's grooming kit for body hair removal from head to toe. The kit includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, a waterproof and cordless trimmer that can be used on hair anywhere on your body. Anywhere. And with its ceramic blades and 4 adjustable guard lengths, you can groom your body with confidence and customize your preferred hair length. Plus, the powerful 7,000 RPM motor and 4,000 Kelvin LED spotlight make for a precise shave every single time. But that's not all. The kit also includes 2 products you never knew you needed until now. And my favourite is the Crop Preserver liquid deodorant for the boys. Smells so good. Not that I sniff. Shut up. And the Crop Reviver toner spray. And for a limited time, when you do purchase the Performance Package 4.0 kit, you get 2 free gifts: the Shed travel bag and the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs, which I'm wearing now. No, I'm not showing you. So, go to manscaped.com/creakyblinder today and get 20% off plus free international shipping when you use promo code creakyblinder at checkout. That's 20% off plus free shipping with my code creakyblinder. How can you go wrong? Dan is such a nice guy. He doesn't even say anything mean about you, Kent. But okay, fine. SCIMANDAN is the winner. Yay!
Any farmers out there know what this machine is right here?
I do, but I'm not a farmer. It's a muck spreader, and you of all people should know that, Kent, given the amount of that comes out of your own mouth.
A manure spreader. Yeah, that's correct. SCIMANDAN spreads a lot of it around as he teaches about evolution.
Well, ha.
Oh, Kent, you're such a funny guy. Do you come up with these rib ticklers by yourself, or have you got somebody who writes your videos for you? And I'm basing that on the fact that you never seem to have any original thoughts and that you just regurgitate the same old nonsense. So with that in mind, I guess I just answered my own question, didn't I?
After whacking Dan about evolution several times over the last 2 years, it looked like he got the message and stuck to picking on softer targets like flat Earth.
And you think that was because of your videos about him? Do you not think that that could maybe come across as a little bit egocentric? You do realize that the entire world doesn't revolve around you and your beliefs, don't you?
He did Flat Earth Friday, 267 videos. Good job, Dan. He did Flat Earth Fail compilations, 45 videos. Good job. The most confused flat earther ever. Good job, Dan.
Yeah, Dan makes mainly flat earth debunking videos, but by the sound of it, you seem to have already decided that the reason Dan doesn't make many videos debunking young earth creationism is because of you. You may want to slow down a little bit, Kent. If your ego gets any bigger, you won't fit it into a YouTube video. And have you never heard the saying that nobody likes a smarty pants? Well, that saying applies at least in part to you. Well, half of it does, because you definitely aren't a smarty pants, so that only leaves us with nobody likes you, which is fairly accurate.
He started picking on creationists again. Dan, you should have stuck with flat earthers and you would not get whacked, okay?
Ah, right, so you think that people like us don't like it when you make episodes of Whack an Atheist about us. Now, I can't speak for SCIMANDAN, obviously, but I look forward to it, because when you make an episode of Whack an Atheist, it just supports what I was saying, or whoever else was saying, in the first place. That you're a complete moron who has no clue about what science is, let alone the real-world applications of science that destroy every single word that comes out of your mouth.
Relapse and recovery. 3 stages of relapse. Emotional. The person starts to bottle up emotions and isolate themselves. Dan misses my attention.
Well, I doubt he even gives you a second thought, because, I don't know. Do you honestly think that any one of us gives a crap about what you do or say? Unless, of course, it's something really stupid, which it pretty much is every time you open your mouth. So actually, I retract my previous statement. I thought I'd throw in some sort of courtroom reference there, seeing as you're so familiar with the inside of a courtroom.
Mental. The person starts to experience cravings and anxiety. Physical. Discomfort starts to happen, and the person relapses to avoid the sensation of discomfort. Dan, I'm sorry you had to relapse to get my attention. I'm here now. It's okay, Dan. Don't panic.
So I've got to ask, are you mocking mental health with Christian love, or are you just mocking it because you're a piece of human garbage? Or are they the same thing? I can never remember. And just to remind you, none of us care about anything you say or do, unless, as I just said, of course, it provides us with content.
It's okay. I've had lifeguard and water safety instructor training. I'm here to help.
And yet a child still sadly drowned at Dinosaur Adventureland. I just thought that was worth pointing out, as the way you handled the whole tragic situation was disgusting. Much like yourself, Kent. What was it you offered them? A free return trip to Dinosaur Adventureland? You're a real saint, aren't you? Hang on a second, isn't Dinosaur Adventureland free to get into anyway?
Okay. I'm going to throw you some real science to rescue you, Dan. Let go of that evolution anchor you're holding. Grab the science ring, Dan. I'll help. Really, I will.
But you're not a scientist, Kent. Just because you've got Dr. Kent, the science gent, written in your lower third, it doesn't make it factually correct. In exactly the same way as just because the Bible says that God created Earth in 6 days, that doesn't make that factually correct either.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That's science. They'll bring forth after their kind. That's science.
Kent, I just said that you're not a scientist. There was no need to demonstrate it straight after. We already know you're a pathological liar.
Evolution is a fact. Oh, now, Dan, right here, you stepped in it big time, okay?
Well, sorry again, Kent, but as shocking as this may be, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. Evolution is a fact. And the reason it's a fact is because evolution is information that is based on objective reality, and it can be proven or verified through evidence. And it's important to note that the concept of facts is based on the principles of critical thinking and the scientific method, which involve a rigorous process of gathering and evaluating evidence to arrive at objective conclusions. However, it's also important to recognize that facts can sometimes change or evolve as new evidence emerges, or as our understanding of the real world evolves through further research and investigation.
God made man out of the dust of the earth. See, for God to take dust and make a man is very different than what you guys believe. The dust made the man by itself.
But that isn't what anyone who isn't a creationist believes. You constantly accuse us of believing that we evolved from rocks, which we don't, and then you go on to say what you just said, that God made man from the dust. And going back to my last point about facts, I am sure creationists use critical thinking and verifiable evidence to arrive at their conclusions. I mean, nobody would be stupid enough to just say creationism is true because it says so in the Bible, would they?
For man to take metal parts and turn it into a car, that's fine. But for the metal to come out of the ground and form the car by itself, that's evolution.
Well, I never. A young earth creationist using the watchmaker argument. How original.
That's dumb. So Dan does not understand that he does believe he came from a rock. Let's help him understand that life comes from rocks. Coming from rocks is an essential part of his religion, of evolutionism.
Evolution is not a religion. The only people who consider it to be a religion are creationists, like you, Kent. And can't you see the irony in what you're saying? You mock us and say that we believe that we evolved from rocks, and then in the next breath, you say that God created man from dust. Now, as a man who considers himself to be very intelligent, well, you may want to tell your mouth before it starts flapping about and making you sound silly.
Here we go. Let's see what these atheists have to say about the origin of the first single-celled organisms.
Despite everybody correcting him, he still says that, well, you believe, evolutionists believe we came from a rock.
Sorry, me again. I know it's rude to interrupt, and I also know that it was Matt that showed the clip from my interview with Aaron Ra. But how does showing an evolutionist saying that we don't believe that we evolved from rocks help you prove that we say we evolved from rocks?
He's talking about me, by the way. That's Mr. Aaron Nelson, who calls himself Aaron Ra. He thinks he's God.
Yeah, and you think you're a scientist, Kent, so...
Except that no evolutionists ever believed that. Nobody,
Yeah.
not one, not ever.
This scientific paper says here that you can see, it says life and rocks may have co-evolved on Earth.
Oh, great, this again. The article discusses the possibility of life and rocks co-evolving on Earth, suggesting that the emergence of life may have influenced the formation of rocks and minerals, and vice versa. It explores the interplay between living organisms and the geology of the planet, with examples of how microbes and other life forms can affect the composition, structure, and stability of rocks, and how rocks in turn can influence the evolution and survival of life. But it does not say a single word about humans evolving from rocks. Imagine that, a creationist misrepresenting a scientific paper.
And it goes on to say that rocks beget life.
Good job, Matt.
Yeah, good job, Matt. Way to cherry pick 3 words out of a paper and completely change what that paper actually talks about.
No, you should say it's absolutely stupid to believe that, okay? But it is the case. You do believe you came from a rock.
Right, this is getting silly now, Kent. Please provide us with a video or an audio clip of SCIMANDAN, me, Professor Dave, or anyone else for that matter, saying that we believe we evolved from rocks. Or anyone else who thinks you're a complete joke, which is a lot of people, I know. But please provide us with evidence of one of us saying that we believe we came from a rock. I think you may struggle because nobody ever says that. And neither did the paper Matt just referenced if you bothered to read it, and more importantly, understand what it's trying to explain to you.
When people get online and they say nobody believes that life descended from rocks, it shows that this guy hasn't done the most basic of research, No one does believe that we came directly from rocks.
So you did it again, Dan. You added the word directly in there.
And that's because that's what you and Matt say we believe, that we came directly from rocks.
Rocks may have played a big part in harboring life, yes.
Rocks played a big part in harboring life.
Why do you repeat everything anyone says to you? Is it so you can buy time to think up a stupid answer? You could try just answering the statement or question. We just heard Dan say it. Well, just about anyway. You'd think a scientist would at the very least be able to figure out how to share the audio from the video he's reacting to, wouldn't you? And as I've already said, if you had read the paper, you'd know that. Or is it all untrue because it didn't come from the Bible?
We'll get back to that.
But no one, and I mean no one, thinks that we evolved directly from a rock, which is what you guys imply that we think.
No, it is not, Dan.
Yes it is, Kent. You said it earlier on in this video.
Dan does not understand that he does believe he came from a rock. He does believe he came from a rock. He came from a rock. From a rock. You do believe you came from a rock.
Well, your own words tell us otherwise. What sort of idiot says they have never said something and then say exactly that thing in the very same video? Oh yeah, you do, Ken.
Dan does not understand that he does believe he came from a rock. We imply nothing. We state directly that you believe you came indirectly from a rock.
Ah, but you just said that you don't say that, and suddenly now you do? Yeah, this isn't really confusing, is it?
He needs to definitely go look at some scientific articles and papers.
And instead resort to your typical misrepresentations of science, like claiming I think life came from a rock.
I debated Professor Dave. Do it again, Dave. Anytime. Come on, Dave. Professor Dave. Bring it on.
And I'm sure Dave has brought it already, Kent. It must really stick in your throat that Dave is an actual scientist with actual qualifications that actually mean something within the scientific community. Now, I don't often watch debates, but I will confess I've watched Dave versus Hovind on more than one occasion. And to say Dave made him look a fool is an understatement. So, Kent, does Professor Dave say we all came from rocks as well? Because I could have sworn I just heard him say that he doesn't believe that.
You do believe you came from a rock, Dave. I got it right on it. I'll show you.
Oh, I'm sure you will, Kent. And it's nice to see you treat Professor Dave exactly the same as you're treating SCIMANDAN. So Dan made it clear that we don't say we evolved from rocks. Professor Dave just said pretty much the same thing, and yet you are still sat there claiming that we say we evolved from rock, while showing two different people from two different YouTube channels saying that that's not what they believe.
No matter how many times I explain to you that those are stupid things to say.
I love how he admits that it's a stupid thing to say, that life descended from a rock. They're admitting that if somebody actually believes that it's a crazy belief system.
Which it is. You just said it. Life descended from a rock. Your own words, Matt. Descended means the process of originating from an ancestral stock. We did not descend from rocks. That is plainly obvious. Show me a scientific paper that says that.
Now, I'm no expert, and I don't pretend to be, but that all sounded pretty conclusive to me. We do not say that we descended from rocks.
And here's the thing, they actually believe that, whether they realize it or not. And I'm actually going to show you the scientific papers. We'll just go through just a few of them.
And Dan, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of them. Okay. You do believe you came from a rock.
Okay, Kent and Matty boy, let's see this paper then. It better not be the same one again. We've already established that that particular paper says nothing about us evolving from rocks.
And show you that this is what they believe. They may not understand the fundamentals of their faith, but it is something that they do believe, is that life descended from rocks.
No, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe we came from rocks.
Ooh, PZ Myers. Hello, PZ. How is adding a third person saying that we don't believe we came from rocks gonna help you prove that we say we do? Now, Kent, for someone who considers himself to be a master debater, you really do seem to be struggling to understand how arguments like this should be structured. Shouldn't you be inserting footage of one of us saying that we do believe that?
So it's a bold-faced lie.
Well, to say that the people who are able to accept evolution as the most plausible explanation that science has to offer about the universe's origin say otherwise. Yeah, I've got to agree, it is a bold-faced lie, and you and Kent should know all about that.
For these atheist YouTubers out there to get online and say, well, nobody believes that life came from a rock. That's a creationist straw man.
And despite what you're saying now, it still is.
You know, and they'll accuse us of lying. Well, they themselves are lying just by saying that, because it is basic knowledge on the origin of life research.
What is? People believing that they evolved from rocks? I really don't think it is, Matt. Now, I know that may well be the case for creationists, because let's be honest, they are the only ones saying that man was made from the dust on the ground. But I'm going to shut up now and let you show us more of the reasons that you and Kent are wrong. And I know Kent likes it when I say this, but you are wrong every time you open your mouth. Both of you.
Yeah, this is a paper on the origin of life. You can see it right there. If you read on in this paper, it says researchers on the origin of life now conclude that rocks and minerals must have played key roles in virtually every phase of life's emergence.
You are showing a paper which supports what I am saying. They played key roles in life's emergence. They didn't bring life themselves, and we did not descend from them.
Dan, you know that. Professor Dave knows that. Even I know that. Rocks played a part in evolution, but at no point ever has any person or scientific paper said that human beings evolved from rocks.
Good job, Matt. And Dan, you are not getting it. I don't know how to help, Dan. I got to get a hammer to whack this guy. Wait a minute. I have my normal whack an atheist hammer, but just for Dan. Dan, I got a better one yet for Dan. You believe you came from a rock, Dan.
Hang on a second, aren't you the person, or was it Matt, that makes videos mocking people for using alternate names and having an affinity for superhero movies and memorabilia? So why the hell have you got Thor's hammer? Which, to be fair, is pretty cool. But why do you have it, Kent? I thought that was for children.
Rocks may have played a crucial part in the formation of first life, but we did not evolve from them.
Yep.
This guy has almost 500,000 subscribers that listen to him. I don't understand. Is everybody in England that dense, Dan?
And I bet that really sticks in your throat, doesn't it? And I would hazard a guess and say that not all Dan's subscribers are from England, Kent. Take little old me, for example. 75% of my subscribers are from the good old US of A. And they all love it when I make videos about you and Matt. Thank you very much indeed to Manscaped for sponsoring today's video. Thanks to everyone that hit the super thanks button on the last video. But most importantly, thank you to you, Kent Hovind, for being so unbelievably stupid and giving me and many others an endless supply of videos to react to. Love you, bye. But not you, Kent. You can go suck a fat one, which, if the rumours about you and Matt are true, you already have.
Alright, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blinder.